What's going on, people? I got a new video I'm excited to share with all of you. It is the deconstruction of a Gen 3 Hemi, and this applies to the 5.7, the 6.4, and the 6.2. But enjoy the watch as I go ahead and deconstruct a Gen 3 Hemi to prep it for a Texas Speed Stage 3 cam. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. 2013 Dodge Charger RT Daytona. We're going to be doing a Texas Speed Stage 3 cam, new valve springs, new push rods. We're deleting the MDS system. This is a pretty common upgrade in the mopar community because the lifters tend to fail, especially on automatics, because you have that multiple displacement system. And what happens is the lifters end up grinding up against the cam, eating away at that metal. And we're at 80,000 miles right now, but this is more of a proactive approach. And of course, you gotta replace something. Gotta upgrade, baby. Why am I filming this process? Well, it's more for documentation purposes, but also to help other people along the way too. If I run into any issues, you see those mistakes that were made, and I'm crossing my fingers no mistakes are made.
Okay, so we have our Texas Speed Stage 3 cam here with our cam card. We have our MDS plugs, and then once we have our two multi-layer steel cylinder head gaskets from Texas Speed. We also have a torque to yield, kind of like an angle gauge that's going to be used for our torquing sequence on our cylinder heads. Once we have torqued down all the bolts properly, there should be some sort of torque to yield specification as far as degrees. A crank pulley puller made by a company called DMT.
Smoke DMT.
We have our shims that come with our new valve springs. Look at that. You get a little keychain. Little lanyard. There's our valve springs, our head bolts, cylinder head bolts, one for each cylinder head. Mopar non-MDS lifters. While we're in there, we have new ignition coil boots, our spark, all 16 of our spark plugs, and then we have our comp cams. This is our phaser kit, and so we will be putting that into the cam gear. Miscellaneous seals and gaskets. Other gaskets are JBA shorty headers, the JBA gaskets, but we also have factory gaskets as well.
So one thing to mention is that you absolutely need a tune if you're going to be doing something like this. This tuner is from HP Tuners. It's one of the best recommended tuners for this platform, and also just the versatility that you have when tuning your vehicle. Could you tune it yourself? Yes. Do I recommend it? Absolutely not. If you want to do that, I encourage you to learn about some things first before doing it. We have one of the best tuners local here in Chicago that basically rated as one of the top tuners for Mopar, right? And that is Cetera Tuning. So Cetera Tuning already handed me a baseline tune for the camshaft. All I need to do is upload it onto the car once everything is done, and start taking some data logs, right? 10 minutes of idle time, shoot it back over to him, then he'll apply wherever he needs to apply, then we'll do some driving logs, etc., until everything is really dialed in nicely. All right, guys, I am moving on to the boom mic now, this thing. Only reason is because it's a little bit easier to record some of my hands-on step-by-steps using this, so that way I could get more of a POV, but hopefully it does the job.
All right, so a quick preview. How to remove the bumper. And it might actually surprise you how little you have to take off in order to gently pull this bumper off. And make sure you have something to store some of these. Next thing you want to do, you want to take out your clips on the inner fender liner here. Little tip, if you're lowered, use a jack, give you a little bit more clearance. So you got to bend this inner fender liner back in order to access this bolt. It'll be a little bit difficult, but alright, so now I got this thing up on ramps. Now all I got to do is drain the radiator, then drop the radiator. We also took off this lower portion here so we get full access underneath. Start draining your radiator. A drain valve at the bottom corner of your radiator. Have a pan ready. Might be a good idea to just remove maybe some pressure So next thing you want to do is remove the bolts onto your windshield wiper arms. It won't come off right away. What you have to do is press on the center here, and then that'll break that seal loose. And the rest of these back ones are held together by these little push-in pins you can just yank out. Now wait for it to pop. Don't use too much force, but just enough. Now your stabilizing bar that's going across here, that's going to be a 13mm socket. Nice. I can see the transmission tunnel right here, the bell housing rather, not the tunnel. So I can see the bell housing from here, so this is giving me plenty of space to work with here. And now the intake's out. All one piece. What you want to do is you want to lift up this red tab here very gently. Don't be too rough with it. You don't want to break these. Push in this, boom, pops right off. Bring up this tab, push in towards the bottom, boom, pops right off. All right, so these intake bolts are 8mm. Oh, look at what I found here. Connector I forgot. It's not this kind of job without an injury, right? So I'm hoping this helps somebody, but quick fuel line disconnect on the actual intake itself. What I did was I took 3/8" disconnect tool. I cut it in half like so. So that way I can easily fit it on both sides. Let's see if it works. What's up?
Where's Mother?
She went to go pick up food.
Recording?
Okay. Oh, nice. There goes my pieces. I guess what would have helped are the actual, the plier-like set of fuel disconnect tools. I didn't have those available to me, or at least in the right size. All right, now we just... And I'll take out the plugs. I don't remember installing Champion coppers. Apparently I did. That's why she's spitting. That's why she's spitting. It's the middle of the night. We're working on this. Let's see if I can turn this up. Yay! Looks like we got enough out to the point that we could just dump the rest. Radiator is out. AC condenser is laying. You do not need to disconnect or discharge your system. And before I forget, before you remove your belt, it's always a good idea to take a photo of your layout before you start removing everything. Okay, right now we have the cats unbolted, but I got a little ahead of myself here. Did not show you guys how to take the belt off. So basically what you want to do is take a 3/8 drive, set your ratchet to tighten, or you can use a breaker bar. Insert it here. I'm going to tighten. We are going to try this little claw, and we'll see if it works. To be honest, I don't know what to expect. No way this little thing is working. No way. Wow. There's no way that worked. There's no way this works. What? That did not. That. Oh my god.
Smoke DMT?
I'm seriously in disbelief. Just absolute disbelief. That is insane. That is insane. I see so many people struggling with this, and a hook this short decided, I'm gonna make this a field day. What do you mean? It's the first time I'm amazed by a product.
Smoked DMT.
Good morning, day 2. All right, last night I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning. The timing cover won't come off. I have everything off, except I did not try this other idea. What could I be missing here? Because I have all the bolts. Every other YouTube channel has said, oh, just remove the five bolts on the oil pan connected to the timing cover and you should be good. If you look up in the forums, a lot of people have dealt with this problem, and they say, no, remove 1 or 2 more off of the oil pan to allow the oil pan to drop. That makes the timing cover a lot easier to remove. That's what we're gonna do. We have literally all the bolts removed. I have 1 on this side here, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 from the oil pan up into the timing cover. Remove 1 to 2 more on each side. That'll allow the oil pan to droop enough to separate itself so we can easily remove the timing cover. Easy peasy.
Timing cover is off. How about that? Woo! So we are ready to take off the heads, and I removed the 2 sensors off on the passenger side and got all my electronics, basically all my electrical connectors folded aside, getting ready for all this. All right, valve cover is off. So probably the biggest troublemaker is this SOB over here. Just as an example, I have extension running all the way over here, and that's how I'm taking it off. All right, so both valve covers are removed now, and now all we have to do is take off the rocker arm assemblies. The rocker arm assemblies, you want to loosen this little by little, each bolt. You don't want to come up just on one. What happens is you get pressure built up on the one side, little by little each one, to gradually get it out. It's not a race. I stands for intake, so there's no real way to mess that up. Intake would be top, facing the intake. No brainer. I like it when they dummy proof things. So your push rods, your factory push rods, you'll have longer and shorter. If you look at the cylinder head directly, you'll see that the holes are staggered, kind of top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. Just remember long bottom.
That is correct, long bottom.
Short top. Make sure you have a breaker bar with a 15mm socket for this. There are smaller bolts at the top of the cylinder head, which are 10mm. What I do is grab a pry bar, just try to bring up the cylinder head, pop it up. All right. It is a heavy son bitch. That's for damn sure. We are off. Cylinder head set up on a table with the headers. Hopefully no cracked bolts. Let's go. These look like they're in good shape. There is a little bit of play I feel in them, but overall they look like they're in great shape. No play, a little bit of wear on the roller. The head gaskets do seem to be in okay condition. It looks pretty good, but you have to replace these anyways when you're doing this kind of job, so. All right, we have our passenger side head bolts removed. We're gonna go ahead and remove that cylinder head, and then we're gonna start cleaning the pistons and then bringing it top dead center. All right, so to time, piston would be top dead center here. You'll have a marking on your cam gear. You can see it here, just 12 o'clock here. That line. Tensioner here, it's like a chain tensioner. So what we want to do is push this back and then hold. As you can see, there's like a little hole right here. You want to line that up with this hole right here to keep it in place. You can use some sort of thin rod. You could use like a Allen key, and then you remove these 2 10mm bolts. Do not drop them down in the oil pan. Well, boys, she's out. Just be careful when you are pulling that camshaft out. Make sure to give it some lift towards the rear. Tilt it a little bit and pull this out slowly. You don't want to damage any cam bearings. MDS plugs are super annoying. You basically have to destroy the whole plug. Pops off super easily. They're super fragile. Ideas that I came up with: taking a 10mm self-tapping screw, grab a pry bar, pry it up. But it doesn't get the rest of it, so take a pair of needle nose pliers and get the rest of it out. But if it strips all that, use your standard garage screw hanger. Put it down about halfway, maybe 3/4 of the threads here, and then use the pry bar to hook onto the threads and then lift it up. Whatever works best for you, honestly. It's a terrible design. Either way, it doesn't matter. There's no escaping difficulties with this, to be honest. I don't get it. Why? Why even bother? As you can see, it does work. You just grab your needle nose pliers and grab the rest of it. This is garbage. Absolute garbage.
All right, I hope you guys all enjoyed that. Next stages, we're gonna start installing everything. That's right, we're gonna be installing everything in the next video. I do get a little bit too ahead of myself and don't document everything, but just wait and see. After that, I do also have some videos of a lot of mistakes that were made, and hopefully that helps the rest of you guys who is done or is about to do a project like this. It's going to be severely helpful, I promise, because I make the stupidest mistakes possible. Trust me on this one. Can't wait to share it with all you guys. So with that said, see you guys on the next one. And just stay tuned, man. I'm going to continue posting some shorts here for a bit. I'm also going to be recording a lot more content. I'm about a month behind on content right now. There's a lot coming, so please subscribe to keep up to date, and we'll see you soon.